Alrighty, well, if you stuck around this long, good for you. Give yourself a pat on the back and a cookie, or just make a sandwich. I don't know. Um, so, any final thoughts or advice? Just anything to close out this
Hmm.
mumbo jumbo?
Mumbo jumbo. Let's see. Let me check if this is right. GetStargarden.com. I voice for Leo in that game.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's so much more. It's sort of like I can't talk about some of it though. So it's sort of like the most I can say is that for that one's announced. I voice for Leo in Get Star. It's called Star Garden, but you can just go put getstargarden.com and then you'll be able to see the Kickstarter that they're gonna set up soon.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just check out the Kickstarter, get the game, and just you okay, I'm just trying to think of this one quote. You play it, you read it, well, you buy it, you play it, you like it. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
And
Yeah.
plus, let's see. Have fun. Go out, touch grass. And then also like, I don't know, it's sort of like relax, love yourself if you can. And if you don't love yourself, like someone who does. And by transitive property, you will like yourself through someone liking you. There you go. Believe in the me that believes in you through transitive property.
Oh, bro, taking me back, man.
Yeah.
Good old Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah, the OGs know where it's at.
Yeah.
Same with like Haruhi Suzumiya with the whole dance craze that was happening in anime
Things were
conventions.
different back in the day.
They pretty much were. Like we haven't even really discussed about conventions or anything like that.
Oh
I mean,
gosh, I mean,
yeah.
when will this come out, you think? After you edit it, how long, however long it takes to edit it?
I have a large backlog of interviews that I still need to put out. So, yeah, just continue.
Oh, well, let's see. Because I was about to say that if it's convention season, go out, touch grass, and meet your friends, connect with them, just have fun, and don't. And you know what? When you meet your friends, you'll know they're your friends. You'll know, which sounds
True.
obvious because they're your friends, but it's sort of like how do I say this? It's sort of like it sounds very cheesy and hokey and kind of dopey and weird, but it's kind of like there are people who are like, I don't want to have friends. I'm like, why not? And they're all like, I don't trust people. I'm like, aw, well, here's an idea. That's because you haven't found your friends yet. So it's sort of like you'll know when you will find someone who likes the same things as you, connects with you, even for a little bit. And that little bit will carry you. It will carry you.
Yeah, exactly. So, on the topic of conventions, do you have like any favorite memories or just anecdotes on doing
Oh
them?
my gosh. Oh, like I have several memories that are great. My favorite one is at Anthrocon, though. It's the biggest furry convention. And the thing is sort of like, how do I say this? It's sort of like, let me tell you, that convention is full of so many artists. Holy cow. I walked past a room with um, a puppetry workshop. There was, they had an auction that they made sure that was just nothing but animals. Doesn't have to be anthro and everything. And the thing is sort of like, I don't know how to say this, but money flows like water there, and it's sort of like you can tell that every single outfit is an original character that people poured love, time, and money into making. And it's sort of like it was a convention full of artists, and the funniest part is that the licensing fee at the time was to be able to advertise your business at the convention and have furries go, "Oh, okay, we can eat here." It's just to it's just to give something to the con chair and the organization. And in one case, it was just I watched I watched a lady says, "Here's my licensing fee," and it was just a bunch of cupcakes. And it was like, really? And they said, yeah, we don't charge money for this, I think. I think that's what they said. And then I was like, yeah, we just asked for food from their organization and all that stuff just to put in their window to say, hey, furries welcome, that kind of thing. And I was just like, man, things would be so much more different if we had more if we had more of that, it's sort of like the barter system. No, I'm kidding. But I know it sounds dopey, but it's sort of like seeing artists be so appreciated and appreciating others and stuff. It was so positive. I loved it.
Exactly. I mean, it's when you do a convention, there's just it just feels so like you just kind of feel at home in a way, but at the end of the day, it's like, you go here to do business and then talk to a lot of the people, but then you kind of like to also check out like artists and cosplays and just have a little bit of fun every now and then. So it kind of feels like it's an area where you're not judged or anything. It's just, hey, just walk around, just we have stuff going on and yeah, um, have fun.
Yeah, touch grass.
Essentially. That, yeah, that whole atmosphere. So I feel like this is gonna be like something that I'm just gonna keep spamming people. Like, hey, you have you gone outside and touched grass yet? You probably should. You probably should do this one event or just do like a convention. That's something for you.
Yeah, and they'll
So
be like, I can't touch grass. I live in a concrete jungle. Touch tree. I don't know.
tree or like I can't go outside. It's hot. Well, go to a pool.
Go to a pool. I mean, I
We'll do
could go
something.
on and say that, okay, name all the things in your room that are blue. That kind of thing.
Exactly.
Ground yourself and also be like, oh, this makes me happy. I chose this. This reflects who I am as a person, what my character is like. And sort of like, I made these choices and they are yours. And
Oh,
you don't have to be an actor. You can be
absolutely.
a regular person and you realize that this made me happy. This is how I
Yeah.
express myself. And that's what makes me not just special, but makes me me. That kind of thing.
Exactamundo. Um, but yeah, I have to say, I also did a little bit of research, and so I just kind of wanted to talk about and I'm not gonna be like, oh, how did you get into VO? But I kind of think that your entry into anime is pretty interesting. It was a little show called Tweeny Witches. So yeah, just share a
Yeah.
little bit about, yeah, share a little bit about that, if you may.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, let's back up even further than that.
Okay.
Are you sure you wanted to ask how do you enter VO at the end of the show?
I mean, look, I was just like I just had to do a little bit of like a quick do, and then you kind of got into anime through there. So I was just like, okay, I try to avoid how did you get into VO, but it's kind of like it kind of sort of falls into that anyway. So, but I just wanted
Ah,
to ask, like, getting it, just working on that show was kind of like I guess your entry into
it
anime
is.
and
It was
stuff
my
like that.
first anime and first voice acting role ever. Uh,
Wow.
ever. Like, not even, I didn't start at Newgrounds and then in Tweeny Witches. Tweeny Witches was first. Then I was all like, how do I keep voice acting? And then that's what Kira Buckland was at that Wallace session with me. But anyways, high school. What are you gonna do with the rest of your life? And I'm like, I don't know. I'll be a writer. And they'll say, okay, how do you drop out a writer? I don't know. Okay, what else you want to be? Voice actor. Drop out of a voice actor. Okay. Interview people at a studios. Job shadow and do interviews and stuff like that. Hey, would you like to be in a Walla session? And I'm like, what's Walla? And then they said, okay, we'll show you. And then I was there with, I think, KG Tang and Kira Buckland and a few other people. And then we just did Walla, and it was a 4-hour session. And I took it like a champ. I didn't realize that that's how long it would take to do a Walla session. And then they said, I said, that was fun. Are you tired? And I'm like, "Oh, how can I keep doing this?" They said, you have to be an actor. And I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, I was on Tweeny Witches and then I did a good job. And then from there, I wanted to come back to do more voice acting. So to do that, I had Newgrounds, voice acting club, classes, self-study, all that stuff. And then they started having me do Walla for like K-On! And a whole bunch of other shows. Then I started getting little parts and then bigger parts and then auditions and bigger parts. And the rest is history.
Yeah, wow. So I guess it was probably around like the oddies type of, era, 2000s-ish or so.
Around 2008.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely, man.
I
Boy.
was 18.
Wow. Yeah. Boy, how time flies. I remember when we.
Yes, I
Oh
am
my God.
old Granny now.
Uh, I'm like a. I'm like a grandfather that has seen
Oh
everything,
no!
including the end of time.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Oh no, indeed. But yeah, I think that was also back when they were doing like those. I don't know if you participated in
AX
them, but it was
Idol.
that AX Idol. Yeah, I was about to say, and I think they're bringing it back, but it was through like Bing. It's through like Bing Zoom, but yeah, this is back when AX itself used to do stuff like the idols and yeah, and I think we kind of all know that like yeah, it was a lot. It was pretty fun. Also, kind of like a time capsule of how things used to be so much different back then. But yeah, and because I remember like Kira auditioned and actually won, and then it was
Mm-hmm.
also Sean Chiplock that auditioned and also won. And it's really interesting how both of them would actually be in JoJo. Like Kira lives her lifelong dream, and then Sean also got to be in JoJo and a lot of other big like Pokemon and pretty much a lot of the stuff that they were kind of both on. And you also got to be in Pokemon and Beyblade and so on and so forth. So it's just kind of like, man, that is like a crazy bookend, if you ask me. Like kind of like a
Crazy,
big
but remember,
manifest.
to everyone auditioning for any of those voice acting competitions at conventions, it's not the end of the world if you don't get it.
Exactly, yeah.
I never placed in any of them. I auditioned every single time. I competed every single time for several years, never got it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of like you could just do it to get yourself out there, but don't treat it as like, okay, I know this is gonna get my foot in the door. Just have
Nah.
fun. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. To
Hmm.
anybody that did like those, because I think there was something that they did competitions also in I think it was somewhere in Arizona or Chicago, like somewhere in the Midwest where they did it recently. So I'm just glad to a lot of my friends for making it, and I'd love to do it if I wasn't so far.
Hmm.
So one of these days. And I probably would just do the competition that's going to be happening at AX, whatever that entails, but I'm going on vacation for the 4th of July. Huh, who would have thunk it? I'm actually going to touch grass for a change. Look at
Yay!
that. Uh, yeah, and I also kind of wanted to ask you real quickly before we, if we eventually stop talking, like playing the emotional, because you mentioned, it also kind of ties into like, just going into the emotional scene of just being emotional and not just pretending, or so to speak. I know it's that we play pretend for a living, but it's like there's also like a real authenticity into your own performances. So when it comes to playing the emotional characters, like let's see, One Punch Man or Shield, or just a lot of different stuff that you've done, because you already mentioned Coco and Bolt. Um, is there like anything particular that you kind of recall of just being like, okay, I know this is a really big moment. I'm just gonna go with whatever my heart is telling me and just pretty much do it. And also being spontaneous, like you were mentioning. Like anything
Hmm.
that you kind of say was like a big pull. And I know I say like method acting, but would you say there's something that you kind of pull with like each of these characters, how you kind of relate to them and just bring it into, your work and just turn it into art in a way?
I've been trying to put it into words for the longest time because aside from basic scene study, which I talked a little bit about, there is, and people know about method already, but my technique, if my stomach's growling, stop it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
almost
dinner
dinner
time.
time.
But
Yeah.
anyways, how do I say this? Let me ask you an interesting question. When
Yes.
you think, do you hear a voice in your head?
Do you hear when you think hearing a voice? Honestly, yes. I'm gonna have to
No,
say,
I don't have one. I don't have a voice in my head. There's numbers that say that not everyone has a voice in their head. The people who do, they can do really cool stuff. It turns out I can't do what they do. Everyone's different. So for me, when I act, in those scenes, I have to feel it face on. I have to feel it through my eyes, everything, and eventually the words go away, and I'm in that moment. And that's
Yeah,
how it feels. And that's why it feels extra real, and that's why it hurts sometimes, but it also is, it makes sense. And I can't say like, oh, my character wouldn't feel that way or say that. No. The thing is, sort of like eventually the words come to you. You don't overthink the words. You don't have to be like, oh, the words have to sound perfect. Oh, I have to not stumble over my words. It will come to you. And when you're in the
yeah,
moment, you're in the zone.
yeah. And when I say yes, I meant to phrase it as like yes-ish because I'm sorta because the way that you kind of described it is kind of very, very similar to me. So when it comes to hearing voices in your head, it's like it's either could be, oh, I'm hearing the voice of God or the Lord, or I'm just hearing the voice of somebody else when I'm not working. But when it comes to, going into work and doing stuff like this, it's kind of very much in line of what you're saying to me. So in a way, it's like I'm learning from you as much as you're probably learning from myself, which is crazy. You know, it's just very interesting how tonight we're just talking like psychology. Okay, this is
I
kind of
mean,
like a
I can go
psychological.
on.
Yeah,
I can go on because there are some people who say
yeah.
that, hey, I hear a voice in my head and I copy that voice in your head. And I'm like, I don't have a voice in my head. And they're all like, you don't? And I'm all like,
You
no,
don't? Wow.
I don't hear anything in my head. And it's sort of like, I learned that like a few months ago that apparently that everyone else has voices in their head and I don't. And I'm all like,
Oh my
oh.
gosh. Yeah,
But it's so cool, isn't it? The fact that it's kind of like learning, the how you have styles of learning, right? Are you a
yeah,
visual learner? Are you an auditory learner? Are you a doer? Or are you all three? And then the fact that you learn it a certain way, then you'll be able to take in more of these acting techniques. And then you learn about these people and you incorporate it into your performance. Or like Devin, you steal.
yeah.
And then
Trust me,
it
we
just
steal a
becomes
lot.
something that's yours. Oh my
Yes,
gosh, I'm sorry. I
so
love talking
much.
about acting. I can go on for hours.
I mean, we probably could if we.
Oh, I'm sorry. But my tummy
Yeah,
rumble.
I know. Yeah, mine's too. So it's, man. Maybe we should. I always do this, but sometimes whenever we have a really good conversation, I'm just like, oh man, I wish I asked that question. Maybe I should save it for a sequel episode.
Oh, ooh. We will have to reconvene.
Yep, absolutely. We shall we shall plan for a demise.
Yeah.
So, I guess on that note, I guess you already talked about your, you know, oh yeah, I guess just because you mentioned like you got some stuff cooking up in the pipeline. You gave some good solid advice all throughout this. Where can I don't know if stalking is not a good word, but where can people follow you? Like, just
Oh,
what's your
well,
stuff?
there's Twitch. You just put in
Mm-hmm.
my name backwards, Hinilmic. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's also my Blue Sky, kimlintran.com, Blue Sky. If you want to see me take pictures of random stuff, there's an Ilmic on Instagram too. And I take pictures of things that just make me happy.
That's what we all need right now.
We all could use touchgrass and take pictures of retail products.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, seriously, I could just talk about like dust or video games or just anything all day long. But what would you want to close out with? Like any final farewell, or did we just kind of discuss everything in like 2 hours? Would you say?
Um, do good. Be be happy. I love you.
Yeah. And I also do something fun where I have the guests just say, oh, like you do it like a little bit of an outro where they're like, hey, my name is Kimlin Tran. I voiced da 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 da, and this is Station Square with Robert Jackson. And thanks for watching. Whatever, something like that.
So wait, do I say your name at the end? Something with
Yeah,
Robert Jackson?
yeah, Station Square podcast with, my name. Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Hi. this is. Oh wait, do I have to? What do I do? What do I do? Oh yeah, this. I am Kimlin Tran. I'm the voice of Coco, Vault, and many more. But you can learn about them on Station Square with Robert Jackson. Yay!
Yeah, always the magical first take.
I mean, I didn't list what projects each of those characters come from, but they are my characters, so my characters. But
For show.
first take,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yep. Amen, brother. Amen. Or sister. Sorry. I'm just on like full on Twitch, just mode all day today. So I guess to really close this out, would a character like to close out with a goodbye or anything? Like Fidget, Evolve, just anything
A
you can
character, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, most of my characters are loud.
Oof.
If you're ever in a bind and need help, reach out for it from Vault. That's
Yee.
really, I mean, he was saying that to Delta one season. So like, hey, you just gotta reach out for it.
Yeah. And I guess for the Dust fans, would Vijay like to say something?
Hmm. Let's see. What would we just say? I know what you are. Amazing. Now give me a cookie.
Too bad. I can't find anything. All right. Yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a real pleasure getting to chat with ya. And there's many other amazing characters you've probably done that would probably also like to take center stage, but we do have your visual reel or just whatever you can find on your YouTube
Yeah.
website. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But until next time, whenever we do a sequel episode, I'm Robert, this is Kimlin, and thank you for watching us ramble for like 2 hours. What am I doing with my life? So,
What are we doing?
what am I even doing? So take care, have a good night, God bless you all, and I'll see you all next time. Peace. Bye. Bye bye.